Live Wednesday night at 8:30 on Sports South.
Welcome back. This is Countdown to Signing Day. I'm Bob Pasella, along with our recruiting expert, Forrest Davis. We're going to go ahead and take phone calls already. Kevin, you're on line one. You're from Anderson, South Carolina. What is your question, please?
Forrest, how you doing?
Hey, just real well.
Forrest, I'm calling. I want to know what do you think Jamie German would look like in orange and purple at Clemson University? And can you give me a little overview on how the recruiting's going this year?
For Clemson, right. Yeah, I think Jamie would look fast, Bob. Jamie is a really outstanding player. He's a guy that got good size, was 6'3", 175, and he told me he ran something like a 4.16, but we believe it's more like a 4.3.
And we talked about his speed, yeah, 4.16, 4.3. Guy plays on both sides of the football. You see him as potentially a defensive back.
That's right, but when you look at things, though,
great catch. Look at the hands.
How he catches the ball, but most coaches think if they can get a guy that can run like Jamie, they'll put him on defense if they can.
With a guy with hands like that, you wonder how you can put a guy on defense.
He is a multi-talented athlete. Obviously, he's the kind of guy that could play on either side and be successful.
As we mentioned, he has the breakaway speed.
That's right. He's a little Deion Sanders-like in the fact that he can do so many things. And I think that in answer to the gentleman's question, I believe that Clemson is in a situation to recruit very well. They have a very, very impressive list at this point.
And also he's considering other schools, among them Notre Dame, Florida State, and Florida and Miami.
That's right, and Syracuse. He may go up to the Carrier Dome.
Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Mike, you're on the air. Where are you calling from? Your question, please.
Good morning, Forrest. Mike Wood, Chattanooga, Tennessee. I want to say Roll Tide. I want to know about Freddie Kitchens at Etowah High School.
Freddie's a good one. He's one of Bob's favorites, I know. Freddie is a young man that's able to do a lot of nice things. He's about 6'3", 220. I asked him one time what his future held. He said defensive tackle if I don't quit eating so much. But he's a great player. He's the number 2 rated quarterback in the South, in my opinion.
And he compares very favorably with Thad Busby. As you can see, he's got a little bit more size. He's thrown the ball a lot this year. Great touchdown to interception ratio, 14-5, so he makes a lot of good decisions.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about Freddie is the fact that Freddie has really good touch on the ball. He doesn't try to just drill it on every play.
And he drinks water well.
That's right. Also, watch what happens when people try to tackle this guy. He's huge.
He is 6'2", and he is all up 200 pounds.
Oh, yeah, he's around 220, actually, Bob. And he played on a very good team. They lost last night, which is unfortunate, but Freddie has a really bright career ahead of him.
And he throws a very nice football.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Jason, where are you calling from? Your question, please.
This is Jason from Summit, Mississippi, and I was calling to wonder about where Kirk Presley of Tupelo High School is going.
Oh, Kirk's got 4 or 5 schools. I know that this is a guy that is able to do a little of everything. He's 6'3", 190. For those of you who don't know, he's also a guy that has a pretty mean fastball. I think it's in the 93 mile per hour range, so you can tell he has a great arm. But Kirk is right now looking at all the southern schools, and just look at some of the stats that he has, Bob.
I don't know what's more impressive, his football stats or his baseball stats. Now, I got to say, before we go on, he is a cousin, I believe, of Elvis Presley.
That's right. Maybe that's where he gets all his mobility. What do you think?
Okay, let's take a look at Kirk Presley. Got a strong arm. He can throw downfield, sets up pretty nice in the pocket.
Yeah, he does everything pretty well. I really do like the way he throws the football. Obviously, he has a very, very strong arm.
And Kirk Presley, well, he can throw the ball as well from the baseball diamond. Big K right there.
Yeah, he's looking at he was looking at Ole Miss and Mississippi schools, Alabama, probably a little bit down toward FSU and some other places. I think even Miami was on his list.
Now, we know he can play baseball. We know he can play football. Can he sing? He is related to Elvis, after all.
I don't know. I didn't get him to do that when I talked to him.
Okay, another guy I think we can talk about, and I know you like, is a linebacker out of Orlando by the name of Darrell Bush.
Oh, absolutely. Darrell Bush is a great player. He's a statuesque-looking linebacker, about 6'4", 220. He runs a 4.65, and he can just dominate a game. When you watch him, you can tell which player Darrell Bush is. It doesn't take long to identify him, number or not.
6'4", 220, a linebacker. He's already got the size to play in college. No doubt about that.
Look how he closes to the ball. He reminds you of people like Cornelius Bennett and Derek Thomas, people that had that great first step, and then when he gets there, it's all over.
Now let's take one more look at him. He's got the speed.
Yeah, look how
chasing down this man.
Yeah, he knew. If you notice right there, he knew exactly what to do. He didn't try to cut up inside. He plays very smart. He's a smart guy, and he's a big guy too.
Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Eddie, where are you calling from, and your question, please?
Yes, I'm calling from Decatur, Alabama.
Yes, sir, and your question.
I was wanting to know about some linebackers that are looking at the University of Alabama.
Okay. I think one they have that they would really like to get is a young man right in their backyard. He's at Inslee High School in Birmingham, and he's a preseason All-American linebacker named Melvin Dansby. Melvin's about 6'4", weighs about 240 pounds, runs a 4.6 40, and he had a little knee injury that held him back this year, Bob. He's not quite as quick as he was. He used to play sideline to sideline, but I'll bet when he gets well, he'll do the same thing.
All right. Let's go right back. Well, let's take a look at the video first off. And you really like this kid.
Oh, yeah. As you can see, he runs back.
Stays
down,
with him.
He runs them down from behind. He's the kind of guy that some coaches would say, well, let's make him a defensive end, but he really can play linebacker.
And it looks like he does stay with his people. He doesn't give up on guys.
Oh, no, he's very aggressive.
Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Kevin, where are you calling from and your question, please? Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the air.
I just want to know about that center from Somerville, Kevin Long.
Oh, Kevin Long is a very fine player. He's a guy that you would probably pick on most All-South teams if you were trying to pick one out. He's from Somerville, South Carolina. He's about 6'5", weighs 235 pounds. He runs something like a 4.85 40, which is very, very quick, as you can see. Also, one of the things I like about him is he's a very good technique player.
Looks like he can bench pretty much, squat pretty much. Grades out pretty well.
Yeah, basically when you're looking at offensive linemen, you say, what are you trying to find? Well, you're looking for balance and whether or not they use their feet well and things like that, and he does all of that.
Okay, we're going to take a break, but we'll be back in a couple of minutes to take some more phone calls. The number 1-800-443-2393. See you in a couple.
The top prospects in the Southeast. Subscribe to Prep Sports Recruiting, P.O. Box 94428, Birmingham, Alabama 35220.
The Hawks are back and ready to put on the greatest show above Earth. You're going to love the new moves, new looks, and new players of the Hawks' 25th anniversary season. Friday, December 11th, the Hawks take on the Denver Nuggets in the Omni at 7:30. The first 5,000 fans receive a free Hawks basketball sport bottle, compliments of Delta Airlines.
I love this game!
For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 249-6400 today.
Imagine a place full of magic and wonder, where kids explore worlds all over and under. A place for your family called HBO.
Imagine a place for kids who have grown with tales of adventure and teens on their own. A place where knowledge and ideas can flow. A place for life's lessons every family should know.
Imagine one place where you can go, a world that inspires a desire to grow. HBO.
If you're like most people, you've got credit card bills you'd like to pay off. Let Landmark Chevrolet do it for you. Get up to $3,000 towards your credit card bills when you buy a new or used vehicle from Landmark. Choose from over 450 new and used cars, trucks, and vans this weekend only. Hurry for the best selection. Buy a new or used vehicle and get up to $3,000 towards your credit card bills. Plus, we'll pay off your trade no matter how much you owe. Rush to Landmark Chevrolet, 4930 University Drive, Huntsville.
ACC, arguably the most dominating conference in college basketball. Join Sports South for an inside look at the 92-93 season on ACC Hoops Preview, tonight at 10 on Sports South.
Welcome back. This is Countdown to Signing Day. This is our second week. I'm Bob Pacello, along with our recruiting expert, our analyst, Forrest Davis. Let's go right back to the phones. Kirk, where are you calling from and your question, please?
Well, I'm calling from Perry, Georgia. I want to get some information on the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm trying to find out if they have the inside track on any top defensive linemen, because we were kind of weak up front this year. And how are they doing overall so far on recruiting?
Okay, I think one of the things that Georgia's going to have a problem with this year is not their fault. It's the fact that there aren't many really fine defensive linemen in the state of Georgia. But one guy that does stand out as far as the lineman has to be Mercedes Hamilton, who is from Burke County High School down in Waynesboro.
And you give us your line on Mercedes. He is the
Cadillac.
Cadillac of defensive linemen.
Right. I think Mercedes is going to be a good one. He's 6'4", 268, runs a 5'1". But I really believe he won't play on defense, Bob. I think he'll be an offensive lineman.
I don't know. He gets into the backfield awfully quick.
He does a lot of nice things. I think on the high school level, he's especially effective And I tell you, he could be a nose guard in college.
It says that his weight is 268 is what it's listed as. He looks bigger than that right now.
Yeah, I think that running back he fell on would probably disagree with that.
Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Rick, where are you calling from and your question, please?
Hi, I'm calling from Birmingham, and my question is, in 1991, Curly Hallman and his folks at LSU seemed to do a pretty good job of getting into Alabama in recruiting, and I'm wondering if there's going to be any payback this year, if we can expect to see Alabama and Louisiana going after their top recruits.
Any payback?
That is definitely true. Alabama's recruiting Louisiana really hard. I think one of the folks that the fans would really be interested in seeing that Alabama's recruiting is a young man named Warwick Dunn, the running back from Baton Rouge, that's pretty nasty going down to Baton Rouge after a guy. But Warwick is a great, great player, 5'9", 155. You say, how could this be of any significance? Well, he runs a 4.2, and you can't tackle him. Other than that, he can't do very much.
Okay, we have seen the video, and this is some impressive video coming up. He plays quarterback in high school, probably will not play it in college, but he's got the speed.
Oh, he does a lot of things. He reminds you, Alabama fans will think of him as a sort of a David Palmer-like player.
David Palmer and then son. He's considering a lot of schools, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he is. He's got, of course, LSU, Alabama, you know, most of the teams around the Southeast. Southern Miss may be on his list, Ole Miss, some others like that.
And I know a couple of schools outside of the region. He's considering Texas, among others. So He's got a lot of schools still on his list. Let's go right back to the phones. Craig, where are you calling from? And your question, please.
I'm calling from Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm a Mississippi State Bulldog fan, and was wondering, now that Jackie Sherrill has decided to stay at Mississippi State, can you give me any information on how that will benefit our recruiting and if he has his eyes on any out-of-state players?
Well, I think obviously we've talked many times about the stability factor being a big part of college recruiting. I think that Jackie getting the contract extension is significant in that regard. One player I know that Jackie would like to have is Fernando Davis, big linebacker from Aberdeen. And one of the things you have to like about this guy is he is just so active. Every time you see him on tape, he's crushing somebody.
As we've talked about before, he's only a senior in high school, but he's got the size to play in college already, 6'3" and 220.
Oh, and he runs very well. As you'll see, he
number 89 right there.
Right, and that's not a slow person he was chasing down there either. He was just very impressive. Every tape you see,
look at that, just rolls over the offensive man.
And he's very strong, too. As you can tell from that last tackle, he's very quick, agile, and extremely aggressive. I've said that before, but I think aggressiveness and tenacity is what really typifies him.
Okay, let's go right back to the phone. Scott, you're on the air with us. Your question, please. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
Mississippi Day here.
Yeah. Seems like it anyway.
I wanted to ask, this may be a difficult one for us here. Southern Mississippi, we rarely get any blue-chip type players, and of course the coaching changes here recently with Curley going down to LSU. You know, who's looking at us? I saw you mention Warwick Dunn. I doubt seriously we're in a heavy contender for him, but are there some other players that may be looking at Southern?
Well, I think one player they would really like to get their hands on is Eric Dotson, who's obviously the #1 lineman in the state of Mississippi. Eric is about 6'4", weighs 290. And can you believe this? He runs a sub-4.7 40.
That is quick.
If this is true, I think that there may be some real problems with mothers letting their children play football in the future against this guy.
6'4" and 290, and watch the screen right here. He is number 99. Well, he's not hard to figure out. Sticks with it, runs the man down, causes the fumble.
That's right. You know, there are a couple of really fine linemen in Mississippi. I think most people look at Eric as the best defensive lineman.
Eric looks like he's got the necessary amount of meanness to play defensive line.
Yeah, he's extremely aggressive, and he apparently enjoys knocking people down as well.
And he's considering Mississippi State, Mississippi
yeah,
schools?
He's got all the Mississippi schools on his list, and looking at some others like Alabama.
Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Richard, where are you calling from, and your question, please?
Okay, hi, I'm calling from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I want to know if you have any information on Billy Barron.
Oh, well, that's easy. Billy Barron is simply...
Billy
Barron's the best player in Louisiana, in my opinion. He's a 6'5", 260-pounder, plays defensive line. He's from River Ridge, Louisiana, Bob. And I think you can tell, look at the speed, 4.82. He does everything well.
6'5", 260, as you said. He's got the speed. A lot of impressive stats from last year.
Well, you're looking at him here in practice, but you can tell the way he moves around, does everything. I know that Alabama fans should be happy about it because Billy's leaning to Alabama right now. He's just a very talented guy. He does, like I said, you know, you can evaluate linemen in different ways, but you have to like his speed and basic aggressive tendencies.
Okay, we have got to take a break, but before we go, we will leave you with this week's recruiting profile. The video you're about to see is of a standout high school running back from the South who went on to play his college ball in the Southeast Conference and is now running the ball in the NFL. And here's a clue. He has worn the same number 34 throughout. See if you can name him.
1990.
Welcome back to Sports South, and thanks for tuning in on this, our very first day on the air.
1991.
Wallers and Pena in a no-hitter.
1992. This year, there's more in store. Sports South. The ACC, arguably the most dominating conference in college basketball. Join Sports South for an inside look at the 92-93 season on ACC Hoops Preview, tonight at 10 on Sports South.
Attention Charlotte area soccer players aged 6 to 12. Davidson College, site of the NCAA Soccer Championships, is hosting the Harris Teeter Chiquita Soccer Clinic with Rick Davis. Be sure to pick up your free entry pass at any Charlotte area Harris Teeter store.
Of course, Reggie Cobb from Tennessee. His running style hasn't changed too much from high school.
No, Reggie still likes to dodge a little and run over it when he can.
Of course, after Reggie played at Tennessee, now went on to Tampa Bay, still playing in the NFL with the Bucks. Let's go right back to the phones. Mike, where are you calling from, and your question, please?
Yes, I'm calling from Orangeburg, South Carolina, and I'd like to know about some recruits in South Carolina. I know Florida has a lot of good recruits, but could you give me some information on, like, Jerome Wilson from Edisto High School?
Well, Jerome's not one that I've talked to. I know what I try to do, is interview all the kids. I know a gentleman probably might be interested a little bit in a kid from North Carolina that might be headed to Clemson, though, a young man named Antoine Patrick. Antoine's from Wilmington, North Carolina, and I think he's a very good prospect, about 6'1", probably weighs
a little bit less than 220.
Yeah, he probably weighs a little less than that, but he runs a 4.35.
Well, as the video shows us, you'll be able to tell he weighs just a little bit less than that. Antoine Patrick, number 32. Nice running style. Gets the legs up high.
That's right, and I think he could even play some defensive back, although it would be a pity to move him to that position, obviously.
I'll say. And he can also catch the football.
Yeah, he can, and, I think up in that area, Clemson's recruiting really hard, and I think they're one of the teams, many of the teams, North Carolina State and Alabama also have a very good shot at him.
And like a lot of guys we've talked about, you said he could play on the defensive end.
Oh, yeah, anybody that
well.
fast can do a lot of things.
Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Larry, where are you calling from, and your question, please?
Okay, I'm calling from Sheffield, Alabama, and I was wondering who Alabama was looking for maybe defensive line replacements for Copeland and Curry.
Well, I tell you what, absolutely, the first person you think of...
I don't know if you replace those guys.
I don't think you can replace them, but when you're talking about a player that's like John Copeland, you have to look at Kelton Dixon, the big nose guard over in Meridian, Mississippi. This guy is absolutely astounding.
Kelton Dixon, 6'3", Forrest, 300 plus.
Oh yeah, he weighs 306 pounds. It says, he says he runs a 5.040, but he's a lot quicker than that in the first 10 yards. This guy is tenacious. Watch how well he moves around.
He has the speed to obviously chase some guys down.
Yeah, he never gives up.
6'3", there you go, never gives up, just like you said.
I hope that guy's ankle's still with him.
And he is considering Alabama?
That's right, and he's the #1 nose guard in the South, Bob. He's a great one. I think he has All-American potential for sure.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. Let's go ahead and go right back to the phones. Gordon, where are you calling from and your question, please?
I'm calling from Gainesville, Florida, and I'd like to know with the coaching situation at Auburn, what's their recruiting season look like?
Well, you know, Bob, we're going to talk a little bit now about some of the guys that they would really like to have. I think Auburn has got some problems that they're trying to work through. I know they've got a recent commitment we'll show a little later, but Willie Anderson is one guy that they hope to get a visit from, and I think Willie's definitely going to visit there. He's from Viger High School in Whistler, Alabama. He lives in a little town there, but he's the #1 rated offensive lineman in the United States of America. 6'6", 290, runs a 4.9, and get this, he has a 34-inch vertical leap.
It's Michael Jordan like.
But if he came down on you, it would hurt a little more than Michael.
I think so. Graded out 93%, not bad.
He is just, look at this, good grief.
Yeah, even though he doesn't have a number, he's not hard to pick out.
No, he stands out a little bit. He says he has to tell his teammates sometimes what to do, and I bet you they listen to him.
I bet they listen too. They say he's 6'7", looks even bigger than that.
Oh, he is
just moved him right out of the way.
He's just extremely impressive. And, you know, when we're talking about Auburn also, Andy Swafford committed to Auburn this week. So Auburn's got a commitment already.
They don't have a coach, but they have a commitment.
That's right.
Okay, let's go right back to the phones. Justin, where are you calling from and your question, please? Hello, Justin. Okay, well, he's not. Justin, are you there?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, what's your question?
I was wondering about T.J. Johnson from Lakeside High School.
Okay, well, TJ, as you know, is a preseason Super 11 player in Atlanta newspapers, and he's just a very fine player. He's from Lakeside High School in Atlanta, Georgia, and what can you say, 5'9", weighs about 170, runs a 4.5. All these guys seem to have great speed this year, Bob.
Just outstanding stats, 1,200 yards, 19 touchdowns, what we expect.
I think that, you know, it's kind of interesting to watch how the ratings of these guys go up and down. I think early in the year he was probably rated a little higher than he is now, but as you can see, he's obviously good enough to play on the Division I level. I don't think he's in that upper echelon of backs that we've been talking about.
He looks a little bigger than the 172 he's listed as.
That's true.
I think
right, and I think he has the potential to get a little bit bigger too, and I think that's the key to his future, is just whether he can continue to be a power back more than anything else.
Okay, let's go right back to the phone. Shane, where are you calling from and your question, please?
Nelson, Mississippi.
Okay, what can we do for you?
I want to know about the quarterback situation at State.
Okay, well, you know, we discussed the Presley youngster just a few minutes ago. I think one thing that Mississippi State fans are going to have to look for is another back. They have some great ones like Michael Davis and all those guys, but Eric Booth is a running back, say wide receiver type that I think they'd be interested in. He's about 6'1", weighs 195 pounds, but again, another one of these guys that run a 4.4 40. He's one of the fastest players in Mississippi, and I think he's going to be a good one.
It's almost like if you run a 4.4 40, you're slow nowadays, but he's not.
Oh, that's true. I think one of the things you have to like about him is even though he runs a 4.4, you think of him, well, he's a finesse back. No, he's not a finesse back. He'll run right over you.
Doesn't even look like he's running that fast, but he is. He's got great natural ability and a good stride.
That's true. He's one of these guys that just have this really smooth look to them, and when you look on the stats after the game, you say he had 200 yards rushing. So he's a good one. I think.
and he can jump a little bit.
That's right.
We're gonna take a break, but we'll come right back right after these messages.
There's only one thing they're into as much as Domino's Pizza. Now, order Domino's and get your Domino's $25 million Nintendo Instant Win Game card with a chance to win thousands of free Super NES, Game Boy systems, Super Mario Kart games, plus savings on pizza and Coke Classic. Call Domino's. You can win Nintendo stuff. And try our new Domino's Twisty Bread, free with our unlimited topping medium, just $9.99.
We love this game!
The Hawks are back and ready to put on the greatest show above Earth. You're going to love the new moves, new looks, and new players of the Hawks' 25th anniversary season. Saturday, December 12th, the Hawks face the 76ers in the Omni at 7:30. The first 10,000 fans get a free Hawks Dance Team poster. Compliments of Dan and Yogurt, Paul Mitchell, and LA Gear.
I love this game!
For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 249-6400 today.
Colorado State basketball. This Ram Tough attack has all the ingredients.
Bosch goes up, halfway up, sticking the foot.
A well-balanced offense, highlighted by precision passing, outside shooting, and a high-flying aerial assault.
He's got Larson, Doug swivels in and jams it.
CSU has tenacious team, quick hands, and mighty rejections. It's basketball at its best.
Live Monday night at 9 on Sports South.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. We'll see you again next week, 11:30.
This has been a special presentation of Sports South.